So what if I told you that a few photos could make people question everything they thought they knew about someone? That's what happened with Kat Timpf's viral bikini pictures. But this isn't just another story about a celebrity on the beach. There's something about these photos that's got people uncomfortable, and you need to hear why. Trust me, it's not what you expect. We're about to break down what makes this situation so different and why it has everyone talking. But before you form an opinion, stick with me to the end. Because there's a twist in this story that flips the whole controversy upside down. And here's the reward. By the end, you might just change the way you look at public figures forever. Ready? Let's get into what's really going on with these photos and why people are drawing lines in the sand over them. All right, before we go any further, you might be wondering, who even is Kat Timpf, and why does everyone care so much about these photos? If you don't know her, Kat Timpf isn't your typical celebrity. She's a sharp-witted TV personality, a comedian, and a columnist known for her fearless opinions. People tune in to see her speak her mind, usually about politics, culture, or the latest news. But recently, it wasn't her quick comebacks or biting humor that grabbed everyone's attention. It was something much simpler and way more surprising. A series of bikini photos shared on her social media suddenly became the talk of the internet. Now, you might think, so what? Celebrities post bikini pics all the time. And you'd be right. But these weren't your average vacation shots. There was something about the context and the timing of these photos that made people pause. Was this just a harmless moment of personal expression, or did she push the boundaries a little too far? People started debating, and not quietly. Some were shocked, others were confused, and a lot of her regular audience didn't know what to think. The pictures blurred the line between what's acceptable for a public figure and what feels like too much. And that's where things got tricky. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The backlash didn't come just from random internet trolls. It came from people who followed Kat for years. They felt betrayed, surprised, or just plain uncomfortable. And this wasn't about the photos themselves, it was about what they represented. Stick around because, in the next part, we're breaking down the exact reasons why these photos caused such an intense reaction. And some of them will make you question what's fair, what's right, and whether we're all just holding celebrities to impossible standards. Here's where things start to heat up. Why did Kat Timpf's bikini photos ignite such a firestorm? The internet split into two camps, and both sides are fiercely convinced they're right. On one side, you have Kat's supporters. They say she has every right to share what she wants. After all, she's an adult, and social media is her space. Why should she be held to a different standard than any other celebrity? They argue that we're all living in an age of double standards. When other celebrities post similar photos, nobody bats an eye. So why was Kat's post suddenly off limits? But on the flip side, the critics weren't just being haters. Many of them genuinely felt that Kat crossed a line that matters because of who she is and what she represents. She's not just a comedian, she's a public figure who's built a reputation on wit, intelligence, and serious takes. These photos, they said, felt out of place, maybe even inappropriate. And with an audience that spans all ages, some people felt she should have thought twice before hitting post. But here's where things get really tricky. Where do we draw the line between personal freedom and public responsibility? Kat has always been bold and unapologetic, but this time people weren't applauding, they were questioning. And that's not all. This controversy exposed a bigger issue. Are we holding celebrities to impossible standards? Do we expect them to be flawless role models, or should they be allowed to just be human? If Kat's photos were too much, who decides what's just enough? And while the debate raged on, one thing became crystal clear. The real problem wasn't just the photos. It was the expectations we all have for public figures in this hyper-connected, always-watching world. But there's a twist here, one that might completely flip your perspective on this controversy. We're about to get into how this situation touches on privacy, control, and a double standard that most people don't even realize exists. So, here we are. After everything we've unpacked about Kat Timpf's viral bikini photos, you're probably left with one burning question. Who decides what's appropriate and what's not? Is it the public, the celebrity, or the unspoken rules of social media? The truth is, the line between personal freedom and public responsibility is blurrier than ever. And that's what makes this controversy so fascinating and a little uncomfortable. Some people believe Kat should have been more mindful of her platform. Others argue she did nothing wrong, and that the backlash only proves how unfairly we judge certain people. But there's one thing both sides agree on: being a public figure in the digital age is a minefield. One post, one photo, one choice, and suddenly your entire reputation is on trial. But let's flip the script for a second. What if you were the one in Kat's shoes? What if every decision you made online was picked apart by strangers? Would you still think she crossed a line, or would you defend her right to post whatever she wants? It's easy to judge when we're on the outside looking in. But what if we're just one viral moment away from being judged ourselves? Here's what I want you to do. In the comments, share your honest take. Not just on Kat's photos, but on the bigger issue of how we treat public figures. Is it time we rethink our expectations, or are these standards necessary? I'm curious to hear where you stand. And remember, the next time you see someone getting roasted online, maybe ask yourself if they're being held to a standard you'd struggle to meet too. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. If this video made you think, or even made you question something, you're welcome. Because questioning is where real change starts. See you next time.